Imagine you are creating an API for registration and you are storing the password given by user directly into the database without encrypting. Now, if any hacker hacked your database, then he can directly get the password and also the login details. To avoid this situation in production level, we always need to encrypt our password before storing into the database so that the password remains safe in the database and we can compare the encrypted password during the login process. That will make a login and authentication system very secure. In this video, we will learn what password encryption is and why we need it, how to hash a password during registration in Express.js, how to verify the password during login. Let's get started. So this is our project where we have the src directory and the app.js is the main entry point where we have defined all the routes, like we have the auth routes here. Inside the module we have user module and inside that we have the auth route. So we will open the auth route here and here we have the register API create user function inside the user controller, and inside the user controller we have the create user function which is calling the user service dot create user. So if you don't know how the project is structured, you can check my all the routes are registered in the app.js, which is entry point of express.js, and here all the routes coming from the modules slash the module name slash the root file, and all the root file we are registering all the routes, but every root handler have two parts like validation and database operation. So validation is done on controller, so first we will calling the controller function and then inside the controller function we are just doing the validation, and for database operation we are calling the user service dot create user. So if I go to the user service dot create user, this is our create user function where we are getting the name, email and password from request body in post method, and then we are inserting the password directly, you can see. So now in the postman, if I open the register API with the name, email and password, click on the send button, then it will show user created successfully. We can see our new user is created with the same information and same information here. Have you noticed something? The password is not encrypted. So if a hacker hack the database, he can easily get the login details for each user. Now, to secure this password, we use hash algorithm. Normal encryption is both way. Like once you encrypt the password, you can again decrypt the password. So we will not use normal encryption. We will use hash algorithm, which allow us to encrypt only. So it cannot be decrypted. Now to encrypt or hash the password, we need to use a package called bcrypt.js in our Express project. Bcrypt.js is widely used because it is secure and intentionally slow, making brute force attack much harder. So let's install bcrypt.js in our project. So now npm install bcrypt.js, enter, and it will install the package in our project. So the package is successfully installed and we can use this package in our project now. So after install, we need to import the package in our project file, and in our case, we will add the package in user.service.js because all the database related operations are done inside the service file, and we need to encrypt the password before storing into database. That means we have to import the package in our service file, and here this is our create user function where we are inserting the user, and before inserting we need to encrypt the password. So here we will add const hashed password equals to await bcrypt.hash actual password comma 10. Here what is 10? This is called salt rounds. More higher number more secure but more CPU usage. So 10 to 12 is an average value we can provide for hashing the password, and then instead of storing the password directly, we can store the hashed password here. So our hashed password will be stored in the database. After changing the code and restarting the node server, now let's hit the API again. This time I have changed the email address but keep the password same, and clicking on the send button, here we have user created successfully. Now if we check our database, we can see the hashed password in our password column. Now let's check how the login will work with the hash password. This is our login function inside user.service, and here we can see we are directly comparing the password given by the user. And in the postman, we can see for the slash login API, we are sending the email and password, and it's showing login successful because for the first user the password is not encrypted or hashed, but for the second user, we have the hashed password. So here we have the change in email. We have 333 after admin, and I'll change it here as well and try to log in. This will not work because the password is hashed here. For that, we have to change our logic in the login function. First of all, we will remove the password checking in the query. So I'll remove it from here and from the query parameter as well. Now we are getting the user record by email only, and then we will get the rows dot length greater than 0. That means we get the record, and if we don't get any record, invalid email or password, so we'll change this message to email address is not registered. And if we get rows, then we'll compare the password here. We'll not compare the password in the query. To do that, first we will get the password of the user into a variable called db password, and then we will use bcrypt.compare, which is a inbuilt function inside bcrypt package which allow us to compare the hashed password with the given password. And here we are taking the result in a variable called isMatch. So isMatch equals to await bcrypt.compare. Since it's a time taking task, that's why we have await here. So bcrypt.compare the given password and the database password. So if the match is true, that means we found the match and the login is successful. So that's why we are returning login successful. And if the match is not true, is match is false, that means the password did not match, and for that case we are returning email and password does not match. Now let's see in postman. So first we will call the login API with a wrong email, and here we have the message email address is not registered. Now I'll change it to a correct email, admin 333 at gmail.com, and this time we have login successful. So this is how the password is encrypted and compared during login. Now if I change the password to something else, then it will show a different error. Email and password does not match. So all the validation are taken care with all the logic here, and few things you need to remember when setting the password in the database. Make sure to make the database column length to a bigger size. If I go to the structure, the password is a worker field, and for the worker field we have length equals to 100. So make sure to make the password field a lengthy field, because the hashed password is a lengthy string that need to store. So by using bcrypt, even if your database is leaked, your passwords remain protected because only the hashed value are stored. In the next video, we will learn how to generate JWT token after login and use them to protect Express.js APIs. Thanks for watching. Happy coding.